Hi guys! No offense, and this is said in the most loving way I possibly can, but you guys look kind of like a deceased gerbil. It's all my fault because I put micro muffs on you, these little guys up here. Those are supposed to help with wind noise, and you know there's nothing I despise more than wind noise. And some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, there is no wind noise down below in the boat. And you would be correct. But I'm actually going sailing today. Yep, the guy that never leaves his slip. This guy is actually going sailing. A few days ago, a friend, a fellow liveaboard here in the marina named Henrik, asked me if I wanted to go sailing today. And I figured I was long overdue for a break from the projects aboard the boat, so why not? Of course, the boat isn't really set up to go sailing, nothing is squared away, but I spent the last 45 minutes cramming everything into lockers and crevices and, well, just trying to make sure nothing goes flying when we heel over. I've stuffed all of my tools and stuff I need for the projects aboard the boat into the quarter berth, and it's really crammed in there. It's not really supposed to get all that windy today, so I'm sure it'll be fine. The bucket that contains Jökull's food is securing the dehumidifier. Of course, I need to figure out a better solution for this. Henrik and I spent a couple of hours sailing, and it was super nice, although the air is starting to get a little bit cold. What's not so nice is all the stuff that's gotta be stuck underneath the bottom of Obelix. She handles like a ton of bricks, and there's got to be something growing on the prop also, because we're barely able to motor out of the marina. So I'll certainly have my work cut out for me once I get Obelix up on the hard in a few weeks. When we got back to the marina, two of the other liveaboards, Camilla and Sebastian, dropped by, and we all hung out in the cockpit for about an hour, just chatting and enjoying what might very well end up being the last truly good weather we'll have this year. I got to test out those micro muffs, and well, I'm quite impressed. Here's a clip with the micro muff, and here's a clip without. And again. That's not too bad. I look forward to not worrying about wind noise on the sailing videos I'll do next year. So for those of you who recommended the micro muff, thank you so much. Most of the things stayed put aboard the boat while I was out sailing. That oil filter down there, that was the first exception. That was up on top of the tiny locker, and it doesn't really need to be up there, so I'll just move that to either my toolbox or where I keep my oil for the engine. The other exception was the tiny combination oven. Luckily it leaned out against the hull and didn't come flying out across the cabin, but I definitely need to secure it, and I think I have all the materials I need to do that here aboard the boat. When I was tidying up the boat before I went sailing, I found this. This is one of the leftover slats from when I did the insulation up in the V-berth, and I think I can use this. If I place one of these slats in front of the oven and one behind the oven, that should keep the oven from sliding either out in the cabin or in towards the hull. Figuring out the position of this slat in order to get a snug fit, I've placed the oven on top of the shelf and pushed it towards this slat that's closest to the front of the oven. It looks like I'll need to trim this slat a little bit. I'm not gonna bother varnishing these because they don't really need it. I've given them a light coat of some teak oil, but that's mostly just for looks. If these get wet, I have other more serious problems to deal with. I've gone ahead and mounted the shelf, so let's see if that oven fits. Yeah, that's in there pretty good. I glued together a few pieces of mahogany slat and wedged them in between the oven and the shelf above the oven, and then I drove a screw through the shelf and down into those mahogany pieces. I did that to make sure that the oven is not going to bounce out of there if I'm beating to weather. It is a convection oven, so it gets very warm on the outside when it's in the convection mode, so I didn't just want to tie it down with a line or something, but we'll see if that works. Now there's actually an added bonus to what I've done today, and that is to secure the oven, and that's the fact that I can now open and close the door without the oven sliding all over the place, and that actually adds a lot of quality feeling. I still need to add a bit of trim to make it look nice, but that's going to be a nice project for this winter. There's one more thing I want to get started on today. Today I used the bucket containing Jökull's food to secure the dehumidifier. I want to see if I can come up with a better solution than that. I have a scrap piece of plywood and I have some of that nylon webbing from the tiny locker left over, so I think I'll see if I can build some sort of brace for the dehumidifier using these two things. Last Saturday or Sunday, I think it was, I spent the better part of the day shooting a video about how I wanted to put up a shelf in there just behind the head to secure this dehumidifier to, and I spent about 4 or 5 hours on it, and it actually turns out there just isn't enough room. So I wasted the better part of a day, and I shot a video that you guys are actually never gonna see, so it's just complete waste. So I started thinking about alternative solution, and it actually turns out that this location right here is actually quite good for the dehumidifier. So this is where I want to see if I can build some sort of brace to secure this to the bulkhead. The dehumidifier has got a bit of a curve to it, so let's see if we can line things up. This nylon webbing is a lot thicker than the plywood, so I think I'm gonna double this plywood. I'm gonna glue these two pieces together, and here's what I'm thinking. This has a curvature, and I've traced the outline of that curvature onto this plywood. So I'll glue this, let it cure, and then I'll remove this bit right here so that this becomes sort of a brace that fits the dehumidifier. And then I'll use the nylon webbing to wrap around, and I guess that should secure it, right? But yeah, I'll finish this next weekend. And for once I get to glue something using regular old wood glue, and that's really nice because this stuff isn't trying to kill me like epoxy is. Before ending this video, there's one more thing I want to tell you. I've been doing these videos for well over a year now, and in most of the videos I'm sitting in this position right here, and you're able to see the two lights behind me. Well, in the light that's over here, there's a halogen bulb that uses up a lot of energy. And in the light over there, there's an LED which uses almost no energy. And I've actually never been able to tell the difference just by looking at the light from them, because that LED is so good. And I've picked up another one of those LEDs. So if you're able to get these wherever you're located, you should definitely give them a try. They're brilliant. Well, before ending this video, there's also going to be a little bit of a bonus information, because later on in the coming week I might have some pretty amazing news, and I'd say it's almost on par with me selling the house, so stay tuned for that. But I guess that's it for this video, guys. See you! Jökull and I hope you've enjoyed this video. To be notified about new content, please click subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I suggest you check out the introduction playlist. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment.